Hey, this is Damage, aka Tom here. I'm going to do something new. I'm going to try something new here. I'm going to do a 3D review. This is something new. I got this GoPro camera set up, so we're going to try the 3D mode. Not sure if this is going to work out too well. Feel free to let me know if you like it, don't like it, and maybe we'll try something more like this in the future. What I have today is the Monochron clock kit from Adafruit Industries. I ordered this kit from Maker Shed because Adafruit was out of stock. The kit goes for about 80 to 100 bucks depending. I picked this one up for 80 on sale, but if it's not on sale, I think it's like 99. And so look for it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do an unboxing. This is the box as it came to me. I haven't opened it yet. So we're going to do an unboxing, and then I'm going to do a time-lapse assembly, and then a demo of the assembled unit, assuming all goes well. So yeah, this should be fun, the Monochron clock kit. Thanks. Alright, so here's the box as it comes, and let's open it up and see what we have. So, some bubble wrap. This looks like the acrylic enclosure portion of it. Okay, a little piece down here. Set that off to the side. Looks like a FTDI adapter, USB adapter for serial programming. Here's the display itself, the LCD. And all of the components. Crystal, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Trying not to lose it. Okay, the bag appears to be empty. So, get your main circuit board, buzzer, your AT-Mega chip, and your DS1307, as well as a socket for both. Typical red LED, push button, looks like a spacer, and some smaller spacers. There's another one of those. CR1220 backup battery, trim pot, power plug. Some hardware for, I suppose, mounting the boards and the spacer. Another push button, slide switch, a couple resistors, some more resistors, another button hung up in there, a couple caps, ceramic caps, another resistor, some more spacers, hardware, header, programming pin header, or inch chip serial programming. Looks like a LM78 transistor, if I had to guess. It looks like it's what it is. Another electrolytic cap, battery clip. So that's all the components. Let's see if there's more in the box. So yes, there is. It's another box that's unmarked. Open that up. And your AC adapter. So it's a typical, looks like 9-volt DC positive pin. Typical AC adapter. And just extra bubble wrap and empty box. So that is all the components that are in the kit. So I'm going to go and pack the stuff back up, and I'm going to do the assembly part of it next. So thank you and stay tuned. Okay, I just wanted to go over a few tools that I'll be using. I'm not going to do this on every soldering video that I do, but I figured some people may find this helpful. So starting off, I have a soldering bulb. You just use this to kind of remove solder, suck it up. It I don't really find myself using this a whole lot, but every once in a while it does have a purpose where I do find it handy. So I'll have that handy. But moreover, I prefer to use the solder wick. It's called solder wick, and what it does is the solder will be absorbed up into this. The way it works is basically lay it over the part that you want to remove, or the pad, and you heat it up, and kind of like a paper towel, the solder will actually draw up into here and remove and come off the part you're trying to desolder. Basic multi-tip Phillips / flathead screwdriver. That's always handy. Pair of tweezers. And once in a while, if you need to move something around, or remove a little flux or whatever, these come in handy. Solder flux. This stuff will make you a better solderer overnight. For a project like this, it may not be needed because the pads are pretty big and the solder has flux built into it. But for surface mount work, this stuff is just unbeatable. Which brings me to the next point: solder. This is rosin core solder from Radio Shack. Like the name says, it has flux in the core, so usually that's good enough for stuff like this. I like the thinner stuff because it allows me to apply a precise amount of solder. A couple hemostats. These are infinitely useful for grabbing and clamping onto wire or parts to pull through. I use these a lot. I'm going to keep 2 of these out. Basic pair of solder, or wire strippers / cutters. I didn't really see a whole lot of wire in this project that I would need these, but these are always handy. I don't really expect to use them a whole lot in this particular project. Pair of snips. These are flush mount, using to trim off the excess leads on the back of the board after you solder them through. These particular ones are from SparkFun, but you can get these just about anywhere, and really handy to have around. And set of helping hands. Sometimes you need a third hand to just hold onto a part or hold onto a wire while you solder. That's what these are for. You can kind of position them around, and these prove to be pretty useful in and of themselves. And lastly, the soldering iron. I'm using a solder station. It's a Hacko 936 damp sponge to clean the tip as you're working. And the soldering station is probably off frame here. I'll bring that into view so you can see it. But I normally keep it about 30 or 300 degrees Celsius. Seems to be a pretty optimum temperature. I am using leaded solder. I prefer it. I know it's not as good for the environment and not as good for the health, but it just flows a lot better. I've tried a few leadless brands, and they typically need to have higher melting points, and it just doesn't seem to flow as well as this stuff. So, to each their own. I really do wish that I could switch to the leadless for the health and environmental effects, but unfortunately this stuff, for me anyway, just seems to be the way to go. If anybody has any opinions or can recommend some good leadless solder that works as good as this, I'll be more than happy to try out some of it and give it a whirl. Like I said, I would like to switch, but just the performance hasn't been there yet for me. So that's about it. We're going to get started on this here pretty soon, so enjoy. Thanks. So hey, I hope you liked the video, the time lapse. I got the clock complete. Here it is. I actually loaded a tong clock on there, and this is a pretty neat one. This is one that they feature on the website. When the ball bounces back and forth, the time is represented by the scores, and when one side loses, the score goes up, thus incrementing the clock. Not quite sure how they're going to handle, 9:59 to 10 o'clock, because both sides change in that case. So it'd be interesting to see. I'll have to look at that and see what happens. All in all, not a bad build. I did make one little mistake with the power supply jack. Put a little bit too much heat on the solder terminals and caused some of the plastic housing on the jack itself to melt. You'll see that in the video, but it didn't affect the functionality. I mean, no problems at all with it actually working. As you can see, it's working fine now. The enclosure was a little bit of a bear. It was a little tricky because the way everything interconnects, it's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing, trying to get everything to fit. So you kind of have to work it. And you'll see that in the video. It took me quite a while to get it together. But once you understand how it goes together, it's no problem. It's kind of like a puzzle. The first time you solve it and it's new to you, it's a little bit difficult. But later on, it's not that bad. So yeah, it's a pretty cool little kit. You can upgrade the firmware on it or write your own. I mean, this kit is fully open source. And there's lots of other clock faces that people have made. I saw a Space Invaders themed one, and I saw a Mario Brothers themed one. So really, the sky's the limit. Your imagination is the limit as to what you can come up with. You can kind of write your own clock face. So not a bad build. The soldering wasn't too bad. All in all, I recommend it. I mean, it was maybe a little pricey, but you get a lot with the enclosure and the screen. I know these screens were custom ordered because it's a black and white screen. So that kind of drove the cost of it up a little bit. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better value, but $80 might be a little bit pricey for a lot of people. So all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think of the 3D. Is it gimmicky or is it kind of cool? I don't know. I just thought it was something I would experiment with because I got the new camera rig. So thanks for watching. Take care. Okay, so as a bonus, I figured I would throw this up here. The clock is getting ready to change to 10 o'clock, and it'll do so in about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds according to my estimations. So I figured that we would watch and see the answer to my question that I posed earlier in the video as to what happens when it switches over to 10 o'clock from 9:59. So probably about 10 seconds to go according to my estimations. So here we go. Okay, so it looks like one side lost and both sides changed. So that was kind of weird. I mean, it doesn't make sense in terms of the game, but what else could they really do? So it was pretty neat. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care.